You are interested in the unknown, the mysterious, the unexplainable. That is why you are here.
Welcome back to the Code RAD show, everybody. We are going to continue our journey into 1970s science fiction and espionage shows. But first, let's have a look at Interplanet. That is my comic book, available on a very cool website called Fund My Comic. Also, I have a book of short stories of cosmic horror called Tales of Conspiracy and Madness. That is available on Amazon. So, this week we are exploring a show called Gemini Man. Not the Will Smith movie, which is all that comes up when you do a search for Gemini Man. Movie I have never seen and completely forgot existed. We are looking at something that was a television show that lasted for just a few episodes in 1976, I believe. Here's a highly low-res version of the opening title shot, but have the whole title sequence here. Why don't we have a look at that? Status Invisible. He's got a limit, how long he can use his power, like Ultraman. Neat digital watch. That's his boss. All right, that is the opening titles of Gemini Man. I was not really that impressed by the opening scene, and I was thinking, do I want to devote 45, 50 minutes of my life to this show? But then I saw this, credit card created for television by Leslie Stevens, Harve Bennett, and Steven Bochco. I mean, I'm not an expert on television, as anyone who has watched Code RAD before will know. So what are the chances I would recognize all three names of the creators, producers of a TV show from 1976, an obscure TV show for that matter? Well, it was a no-brainer. I had to watch it now. Leslie Stevens uncontroversially created Outer Limits, a classic science fiction anthology series. A bit more controversial is his contributions to Battlestar Galactica. There are some arguments on the internet that Leslie Stevens was the actual creator of Battlestar Galactica, or maybe the writer of the pilot, not Glenn Larson. And even more controversial, I think this is more of a wingnut theory, but there are some good arguments that Leslie Stevens was actually integral to the creation of Star Trek. Outer Limits was filming at the same times, and I guess Leslie Stevens was not a stranger on the set of Star Trek. And people make an argument. It makes a lot more sense that he was writing Star Trek than Gene Roddenberry. So very interesting character for the Code RAD show. Mysterious contributions to science fiction. Harve Bennett, a hero of mine, a guy I only knew for years as a name I saw on some of my favorite movies like Star Trek 2 and 3. Of course, producer of those movies. I know he was creator of $6 Million Man. Just found out he also helped create Mod Squad with Aaron Spelling. There's a thumbnail of a book I read not too long ago, The Future Was Now by Chris Nashawati. First time I really got a good picture of what how Harve Bennett contributed to Star Trek after the first Star Trek motion picture made a buttload of money, but the movie studio said, well, the next movie has to be better, cheaper, and no Gene Roddenberry involved. So they brought in Harve Bennett to make some of the greatest science fiction movies ever. The book, The Future Was Now, is about how summer of 1984, 8 classic science fiction movies all came out. Amazing summer. If you're a fan of this channel, I think you would like this book. Highly recommended. That will be the first book on the Code RAD book club. No, actually, Tales of Conspiracy and Madness should be. Go and get that book first. And then, of course, Steven Bochco, a major television superstar. Growing up, I heard so much about Hill Street Blues. People could not stop talking about what a great show that was, especially people from Pittsburgh. I don't know if I've ever seen an episode of it. However, LA Law came out when I was in high school, and I was able to stay up late enough to watch it, and LA Law was a great show. I would not mind revisiting it. Doogie Howser, of course, voice of a generation. NYPD Blue, big deal in the 1990s. And a lot more shows, perhaps most infamously, Cop Rock. Don't think that one lasted very long. But let's get back to Gemini Man. It stars Ben Murphy as the Gemini Man. The character's name is actually Sam Casey. Is kind of like they just came up with an alternate version of Ben Murphy, Sam Casey. And I feel he gave off some real Dirk Benedict vibes in this show. I will say I've only watched this one episode. It's not the pilot of Gemini Man. It's a decent show. It's interesting. Kind of straddles science fiction, espionage, and action here. And so Leslie Stevens' connection to Battlestar Galactica makes me wonder about how the leading men are similar in both. Here he is, beginning of this episode, looking like he may be really badly hungover. He does not quite know what's going on. He doesn't he has no memory of what happened last night. Did he tie one on? He shows up to work, and here's his boss, which just struck me. He kind of reminds me of Oscar. What's his name? The boss, Lee Major's boss in $6 Million Man. So a lot of similarities to other shows in this. But you imagine you show up to work and your boss pulls a gun on you. What is going on here? Well, he uses his invisible powers. Did I mention that Gemini Man turns invisible? The backstory is he was deep diving in to recover something from a Soviet sub, and something turned him invisible. He was saved. He can turn. Now his natural state is being visible, but he can turn invisible for like 15 minutes or something. He's got to become visible again so he doesn't die. And so here he's running through LA. Some TV cops know something is up, but I think the cop on the right says it is too hot to be chasing people around. So our hero Gemini Man escapes this time. I thought this was cool. That ad in the middle is the important one. Something called the XB107, which is never really explained. Saxon Arms is the name of an apartment building in LA, 1970s LA. Everything looks really cool. Willie is the name of the person selling XB107. As far as I could tell, XB107 was never explained in this episode. It's some sort of secret technology. Gemini Man, that would be Sam Casey, goes and hides in a church, but when some people come in to get him, he knocks them all through the door. I mean, I think actually they were just robbers going in to rob the bank, and just happening to be there. Sam throws them through the door, which you can't really tell, I guess, in this still very much, but that's what's going on. So there's a few cool action sequences here. This woman works for the church, and She can see into Sam's soul here, even though he's dressed like a Skid Row bum, and invites him up to her house to help him with his troubles. He keeps having visions of this guy. He looks so angry and mean. You'd think he was the villain. It turns out he's actually a secret agent. He is the Willie, if you noticed. I think his name was Willie Henderson. He was in the ad from before. He placed the ad. It was an elaborate ruse. They pretended he got fired from the spy agency, which is called Intersect. Your espionage TV shows have to have a cool spy organization. In this show, it is Intersect. Sam keeps having visions of this guy, from when he was blacked out last night. Here he is, angry, waving a gun, but he's actually a good guy. And he has the XB-107, or he had it. This is one of Sam's coworkers tells him that she has seen him kill Willie on camera. There's a videotape of him killing Willie, even though he doesn't remember it. That seems like pretty bad news. Except here's the video. She was not speaking the literal truth. We do not see him shoot anyone. It turns out that there was some tricky editing in the video. So, of course, we do not see our hero murdering one of his coworkers. I don't even remember why I chose this still. There's Raggedy Andy making a guest appearance, I guess, because it's 1970s TV show. Maybe he would do walk-ons once in a while. Here are the villains with their briefcase full of money. Sam breaks into their apartment. He lures them out, says he's going to meet them. And then once they leave, he sneaks into their apartment, finds a cushion filled with money. Gets a phone call from someone who has the actual videotape that shows the true murder. So that is something everyone would like to get their hands on. There is a big chase sequence as the villains and the heroes all go to meet this guy who has the videotape. There we have a poor stuntman sliding out. He was probably also working on chips, I would think, probably same time, riding motorcycles, crashing them, sliding across the pavement. Here's a guy that has the videotape, but that shows, of course, Sam is innocent. Those other guys in suits were the actual murders. They all end up, cops, spies, good spies, bad spies, in the Intersect control room where the video is shown and Sam's name is cleared. So an interesting little bit of obscure sci-fi espionage drama from the 1970s. You should know by now if you're interested in checking it out. I guess it was did not make much of an impression in America. Was more appreciated in England. There was some merchandise, some kind of a annual book that came out of Gemini Man in England. So it does have its fans. Interesting obscurity. Hope you enjoyed it. Please look for a new episode of Code RAD coming soon. Thanks, everyone. Bye now.